Hello and welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let's start.
Before this story pulls you in, hit subscribe, drop your city and time in the comments, and stay till the end, because what happened the morning after this wedding changed everything. My name is Naomi Blake. I'm 38 years old, and while most people my age were building careers, chasing love, or discovering themselves, I was busy raising my younger brother and shielding him from a world that had no mercy for us. I didn't go to his wedding expecting applause. I didn't need thank yous wrapped in pretty speeches. I went because I had earned my place there. I went as the woman who worked double shifts, skipped college, sold her only gold chain, and pretended everything was fine so a scared little boy could grow into a man with a future. So when I walked into that grand ballroom in Chicago, wearing the best dress I could afford and carrying years of sacrifice no one in that room could see, I truly believed I was about to witness one of the happiest moments of my life. Then I found my seat. The card was elegant, ivory paper, perfect handwriting, expensive enough to look fragile. I picked it up with a small smile forming on my lips. Then I read it. Uneducated burden, Groom's charity case. For a second, the world went silent. Then came the laughter. Not shocked laughter, not awkward laughter, comfortable laughter. The kind people share when they think cruelty is safe. My fingers tightened around the card. My throat burned. I wanted to walk away, hold on to what little dignity I had left. But before I could move, my brother Ryan grabbed my wrist and stood up so fast his chair screeched across the floor. "Whoever thought humiliating my sister today was funny," he said, his voice cutting through the room, "is about to learn how expensive disrespect can be." The laughter died instantly. In that moment, I wasn't just the poor relative anymore. I was the reason the groom had stopped his own wedding. Across the room, the bride's father, Edward Langford, stood slowly, adjusting his suit like nothing serious had happened. Men like him never rush. Power teaches patience. "Ryan," he said calmly, "sit down before you embarrass yourself further." Ryan didn't move. "You're going to explain why my sister's name card says charity case." Edward smiled faintly. "It was a joke. Surely she's used to worse." A few people chuckled again, weak, ugly sounds. My stomach twisted, but I refused to cry. Ryan stepped forward. "Say another word about her," he said quietly, "and this wedding stops being your celebration." That's when the tension shifted, not because people found their morals, but because they sensed risk. Edward's voice hardened. "Everything you have is because of this family, because of my daughter. That woman didn't build you, she just carried you." Ryan's grip on my hand tightened. "My sister fed me when she had nothing," he said. "She worked nights so I could study. She gave up her life so I could have one. If that makes her a burden, then your definition of value is broken." Silence. Heavy, uncomfortable, real. Edward pulled out his phone, calm, calculated. "I want the contract frozen," he said quietly into it. "Immediately." And just like that, the truth became clear. This wasn't about a cruel joke. This was power. Ryan looked straight at him. "Thank you." Edward frowned. "For what?" "For showing everyone exactly who you are." The bride, Sophie, had been silent until then. Pale, frozen between two worlds. "Stop," she whispered. Ryan looked at her. "You need to decide. This is either a wedding or a warning." She hesitated. Then she looked at me, and I saw something I didn't expect. Shame. "Did you know?" I asked her quietly. Her eyes filled instantly. "No, I swear I didn't." Ryan didn't soften. "Then prove it," her father snapped. "She owes no one anything." But Sophie didn't move. Instead, she turned to him. "You humiliated the woman who raised the man I love," she said, her voice shaking, but strong. "And you think that's acceptable?" The room shifted again. Edward's control started cracking. He tried to recover. "You're emotional." "No," she said, "I'm finally awake." That hit harder than anything else because it came from his daughter. Ryan's voice lowered. Did you know he planned to control our finances after the wedding? Sophie froze. Dad, she whispered. He didn't answer. That was answer enough. You were going to control our lives? She said, disbelief turning into anger. Edward's patience vanished. I was protecting you. From what? She shot back. From love? From loyalty? Then she said the one thing that shattered everything. Maybe I don't belong in this family. Silence. Real silence this time. I stepped forward. Mr. Langford, I said, steady and calm, I didn't come here for your approval. I came for my brother. And if this is how your family defines class, then you failed where it matters most. He looked at me with pure contempt. You think a speech makes you equal? No, I said. Character does. For the first time, people started looking away because power was no longer on his side, so he did what men like him always do. He escalated. Another call. Cancel his job offer, he said, and pull funding from that literacy project. My heart dropped. He knew. Ryan lunged forward but was held back. Sophie stepped between them. Hang up, she said. Move, he replied. Hang up, or I walk out and I never come back. The room went electric. For the first time, he hesitated. Then slowly, he lowered the phone, but the damage was already done. He stepped back, cold and controlled. Enjoy this moment, he said. By morning, you'll understand consequences. Then he walked out. The wedding continued, but it wasn't a celebration anymore. It was a performance. Broken smiles, hollow laughter. And the next morning, at 6:14 a.m., Ryan called me. He did it, he said. The job, gone. The funding, gone. Everything. Not because we were wrong, but because we stood up. And that's when I realized something powerful. Some people don't fear being wrong. They fear losing control. But what Edward didn't understand was that everything we had built, we built from nothing. And people like us, we don't collapse. We rebuild, stronger, smarter, unstoppable. So if you've ever been underestimated, disrespected, or treated like you didn't belong, remember this. You don't need their approval to rise. You only need the courage to stop kneeling. And trust me, this story, it didn't end that morning. It had only just begun.